your candidate may end up winning, but it might not be for the reasons you're being pointed towards right now. We're all susceptible to an inundation of disinformation or misinformation. Doug Wedge says, Morning, Gill. Speaking of political betting, I'm sure you've seen some big political ads on the Strip. I took this right before we left Monday night. My thought was, does this say more about the type of people who would bet on elections, or can people actually separate their, let me see, it continues here, separate their political beliefs from their bankroll? It's an interesting betting world regardless. And Doug, I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. It's an amazing, again, in 2020, we had really successful sports bettors. We see this all the time in poker, right? We have poker players that go try to bet sports, and they're great poker players, and they stink at betting sports. And we have some great sports bettors who tried betting in politics last time, and they lost their shirts, some of whom, Kelley, have never been heard from again. Mm-hmm. True story. And so I think Doug's thing is interesting because, yes, there are some really, really interesting live betting living ads that are happening on the Strip with betting. And what Doug is pointing out is it just the type of person that's betting this that is skewing this? And are people having trouble separating what they want to happen with what is actual reality? And that's my only point. My point is your candidate may end up winning, but it might not be for the reasons you're being pointed towards right now. And there's a great tweet from NCI95 Gambler who says, Gill, on the segment with Rufus on political betting, I would like to say, just look at the election held in Mexico about 4 months ago, where a Jewish woman became president in a country where like 90% of the population is Catholic, and polls showed a really close race. She ended up winning by a landslide. So the polls weren't even close to reality. And that's what I'm trying to convey here. So if you're going to win, I hope you do, no matter who's out there betting whatever they do. But just don't go nuts if you're basing it on what you're seeing right now, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think this way more than anything you'd see in sports. Like, what was the MGM stat from, like, there was 7 times more money bet on Bronny to win Rookie of the Year than LeBron to win MVP? Like, that is, like, everybody wants to have a fun or they're emotional or whatever with Bronny. Like, so much of the political betting's emotional.
We all have flawed human brains, and so we're all susceptible to an inundation of disinformation or misinformation. And if you get enough of it, right, you just start, through it for horrible reasons and great reasons in human history. And we're just susceptible to that kind of thing. So when you're betting, I'm just sort of PSAing and saying, hey, don't go nuts with this. You may end up getting the winning candidate anyway, but it won't be because of this. I'll say that for the 10th time. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Weingarten, of course, has many thoughts on this. And, of course, Major League Baseball. He joins us from under a cloud of smoke in Southern California. At Spreadopedia is where you can follow him on Twitter. How you doing, Jason?
There's an election coming up.
What did you bet so far? What are you on?
Surprisingly, I don't feel the need to rush down and keep betting more on either side of this. I do have a couple bets on Kamala Harris right now at about plus 148, plus 150 or so. I very much hope to lose those. But, you were talking about all the different reasons people bet things. I bet these Kamala Harris bets because it's a great price. I don't want them to win. What I want and what I'm betting on aren't necessarily the same things here.
A great point. Yeah.
So it's a your point. Why people are betting the things they are and what they want to happen aren't necessarily correlated.
Yeah, or sometimes are so correlated to their detriment that they lose all rational thought. Right? It works in many different directions. That's what makes all this so fascinating, right?
I'm personally happy to lose, $1,000, $2,000, a couple $1,000 on a bet I don't want to win here. It's a psychological thing, but I do think it's a close race.
I do too.
Couldn't tell you what's going to happen one way or the other.
I couldn't either. I'm with you. That's exactly how I feel.
But getting plus 150 on Harris, I think is a good bet.
The only bets that I have are on Harris at plus 150 some time ago as well, and it's the same sort of thing. It's like, this is just a good bet, but if you ask me right now who I think I'm going to win, I have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah, with odds?
No idea.
With odds this close, too. Like, there has been arbitrage opportunities already,
yes,
right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you could be doing that.
Yeah, but Jason's point is such a good one, though. Like, he's able to compartmentalize his bet in one side of his brain, so to speak, while not necessarily from his perspective wanting it to manifest. And I think that's a really evolved thing here, whereas most people, as has been demonstrated in this market, like people are able to do it in sports. It's funny, like really good sports bettors are able to do it in sports, but when it comes to this subject, they're so emotional. Right? And so this is why we find this so fascinating.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now, absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.